Hi, everybody, and welcome back. My name's Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. So, I don't know if it's a tip so much as more of like a, hey, this is what I'm planning on doing. I have decided. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living, which I think I say in my intro. But anyways, in 2025, and that's a lot of tips. It's a lot of videos. I'm doing some cooking videos in there and all sorts of things. That's a lot of tips, and it is a challenge. And some people have noticed, like, that's a big challenge to take on, especially. I mean, and just so you know, though the first video came out January 1st of 2025, I did start like end of November. I started filming and seeing, can I do this? Can I be comfortable in front of the camera and everything? And I was able to. So, a lot has happened. I'm at like 755 subscribers, I think. 753, 70. I keep bouncing between 753 and 755. I don't know if somebody keeps accidentally hitting the subscribe button on and off. Because I'll do that sometimes. I'll be like, oh, I should subscribe. And I'll go and click it and be like, oh, I'm already subscribed. So then I have to resubscribe. Because like sometimes it'll be like 755, 754, 755 in a matter of like 27 seconds. So, you know. I'm thinking that maybe like there's like some I think maybe somebody else does the same thing I do on accident and goes to click and unclick, because that's like a really crazy coincidence if I keep getting a subscriber and losing a subscriber in like a 30-second time period. But anyways, if you are that person, I totally get you and I totally understand, because I do the same stinking thing where I'm like, oh no. Anyways, so I have decided that as I am working on this challenge, I'm going to start another challenge. And some people, I've said it in some other videos, like a hair bane screen. So May of 2024, I decided I didn't want to die. I wanted to just live. I was going to do whatever it took. And in the past year, I've lost 150 pounds. I am still working on it. I am bound and determined to, in the next year, lose another 50 and get down to a healthy weight, an ideal weight. And then my next goal is actually, I let everybody tell me who I should be and how I should be and how I should act. And part of it's because I was a very weird child. I mean, if you watch my videos, I'm kind of a weird adult too. But I learned young that I was weird, and some of my weird was just not acceptable. Even growing up Gen X, people made fun of me for being weird. And let's face it, Gen X, we're all a little bit weird. I was the overly emotional kid. But then again, I feel like I had reason to cry. Like, my sister died. I think that's a damn good reason to cry. And then people made fun of me in like kindergarten for having a dead sister. And again, I think that crying is a normal response for a kindergartner. And then in first grade, my teacher, like the first week, got mad that my desk was messy, locked me in a dark room alone, took everybody else to another classroom to watch a movie on, like, you remember like the old projector things with like the wheels, and they made those, loved that sound. And I cried because I was a terrified 6-year-old who was locked in a dark classroom and told to figure it out and clean my desk. What kind of a crap teacher was Mrs. Hull? She was terrible. Mrs. Hull or Mrs. Hall? Hall, maybe. Anyways, she was like the world's worst teacher. And, ugh, she was the kind of teacher that gave tenure a bad name. Anyways, so yeah, I was the crybaby. But the thing is nobody ever gave me like, nobody was like, oh, maybe we shouldn't make fun of her for having a dead sister. Oh, maybe, maybe she cried because she was terrified because the teacher locked her in a classroom. Well, we all got to go and watch a movie. Maybe we shouldn't do that. So I was like the super weird kid. And then on top of being weird, I was the overly emotional kid. So I learned from a young age that I was completely wrong. I was all wrong. I was somehow built completely wrong. Anything I wanted was wrong. And I had to be like the others. I learned to listen. I learned to follow. I learned to hide who I was. I learned that if I wasn't careful, they would all think I was crazy. So I better not show them. I better be the skinniest, most perfect, most normal person in the world. And so I proceeded to try and do that. Now, if you know me really well, you know that that was a very tumultuous road for me. Because I was anything but normal. I've had some very abnormal jobs. I've done some very abnormal things. And then I became a mom. And then I had no choice but to give up anything abnormal because not being normal meant losing my kid. Because people literally threatened to take away my kid. So I conformed. Because I wasn't going to lose my son. So I didn't follow my dreams. I followed everybody else's. I went back to college. I got my teaching degree. I probably would have liked teaching had it not been so political and stupid. Liked the kids. Didn't like the factor that they kept making me make kids not be kids. I wanted to be that like crazy fun teacher who, I don't know. I don't get kids from point A to point B in the normal fashion. We take the trips around, but in the end, they end up with a more concrete understanding, like a more solid, if you let me get them all the way from point A to point B. Anyways. So I realized I have lived for everybody else. I have lost myself in motherhood. Everything I wanted to do, people thought was crazy. And so now I am going to do what I want to do, no matter how crazy and weird it is. One, I have learned to live very frugally. So I feel like that is a huge advantage. So I can save all of this money and kind of have a more free life. So the very like bohemian hippie part of me has decided that I am going to give in to the wanderlust. I love my tiny home, but I also love to travel. It has been my hobby for years, and I haven't really gotten to since the pandemic. all of my traveling has been for others. It's been for my brother's wedding, or for a family vacation, or because my kid wanted to go here, there, or wherever. Nothing for me. So, my big crazy goal that I am setting is that I have 2 paths, and we will evaluate. Within a year, I will be semi-retired, or within 5 years, I will be fully retired. And that'll really be determined by how this year goes, because in the event that this year is going really well in my next endeavor, because I've decided that I'm going to be a travel agent, because that is one of the main jobs I always wanted. I wanted to be either a travel agent or a hairstylist. Now I have no interest in hairstylist. That's mainly because like the chemical issue and the factor that my coordination has gotten worse, so I would probably spend more time cutting my fingers than people's hair. So alas, that is a dream that my body gave up. But I love to travel. And I've been a lot of places. I've been on cruises. I've been to Europe. I've been to Hawaii. I haven't been to Alaska. I want to go to Alaska. I have been to over 30 states, but I would have to count. Numerous states, numerous national parks. I love to travel. Theme parks. I'm not a big fan of theme parks, but my kid is. I was when I was younger. So I want to be a travel agent because I want to help other people have amazing trips. And I want to be able to also have amazing trips. So if somebody's going to be making commission off of me, it might as well be me rather than booking.com. If I am going to be, plus you can get like perks, like cheaper vacations. So that's a plus. And then I can work from anywhere. So I'm sure traveling out of the country, there'll be some visa complications. I'll have to figure that out, like digital nomad or whatever. But I could do the whole living in my van thing. My kid is almost 18, and I have talked to my brother about if I decide to do this crazy thing and everything, then I can lock my house up. My kid can go and either travel with me or stay with my brother. So there are options. So the crazy wild harebrained scheme I am saving up for, I have decided my second stream of income is going to be travel agent. So right now I'm doing Shipt. I am training to be a travel agent. I am going to get that done and then start making money there. So that'll be my second stream. And I'm going to be starting another YouTube channel about my travels. So if you want to see how I progress as a travel agent, let me know. Let me know in the comments below. Do you want to see what happens as far as how successful I am in a semi-retired type situation to retirement? Would you like to see, because like that also could, like with the frugality, kind of fit into this channel, but I could also kind of do its own channel. Or I can show you from step A to Z becoming a travel agent and the ups and the downs and how I'm doing and if it's fun and what I like and the different trips I go on. Or I can just basically focus on the travel part of it. So if there is something you would like to see, as far as if I can make my next big goal, which is kind of crazy because I haven't even finished this year's goal, which is the 365 tips for frugal living. But I'm confident that this goal is going to get done. And you figure I started May to June, July to August, September, October to November. So you figure I started the last goal, like, because I started in November, about 6.5-ish months after I started my first goal. So, it's about that time that I should consider starting another goal because that's part of growth. So let me know in the comments below. Do you think, what do you think would be interesting? Do you want to see me kind of show you how I become a travel agent, the pluses, the minuses, and how it's going? Do you want to see more so how I pay off debt and get to a point where I can either retire in 5 years or be semi-retired in 1? Or do you just want to see travel videos and everything, like to see my adventures, and if I decide to do the van life thing or the bike camping thing? I don't know for sure where I'm going with it yet, but I know that I've decided that I want to be frugal, and I don't want to wait until it's too late. So it's my crazy harebrained scheme is I want to travel the world. And can I do it on a budget? Can I do it for dirt cheap? Because I have been working on this, and I've come up with some really, really, really affordable ways to travel. I'm talking, I could possibly, if everything had gone right and the car hadn't started breaking, I could have definitely achieved this by November and done the whole, like, travel for the winter. But alas, I needed to come up with a second strategy. So let me know what you think. Am I just being crazy? If I am, it doesn't matter because I'm still going to try. And as far as the goal goes, like the whole 5-year or 1-year thing, it's the same goal no matter what. It's just more of a, I'll evaluate in a year which one it's going to be. And then, would you be interested in seeing that? Would you be more interested in seeing the travel aspect, the travel on a budget aspect, the earning income to retire aspect? Are you retired? Would you like to know how to travel more affordably? Would that be something that you would be interested in seeing? If so, leave it in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see as I prepare to start my next adventure. Anyways, again, thank you all so much for subscribing and for listening to my crazy antics. And let me know what you want to see. Anyways, again, in 2025, I will be sharing 365 tips for frugal living. And your comments could also help to kind of guide where this channel goes in 2026. Anyways, again, my name's Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. If you want to hear more, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.